Welcome, everybody. Let's go Niners. My name is Jason Aponte. Man, week 13. I can't believe it. It's flying by. For everybody who complains about, oh, well, your team's not doing well. Yeah, 5 more regular season weeks. And if you don't have a playoffs, this is it. So you better feast up and enjoy. I'm Jason, joined by Lou and Weston again. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, man? Jason, I got to laugh real quick because you're saying 5 more weeks to go. And I know everybody across like social media saw the meme or the GIF that was put out that even the Detroit Lions still have a mathematical percentage, albeit very small, of making the playoffs. So everybody's alive. A lot of craziness still to go.
Everybody's got a chance. Lou, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, Jason? How you doing?
Good, man. I'm fine in terms of, being here with you guys. That's great. My back is killing me. That's a whole other thing, right? That's this old age creeping up. But before we get into the questions and everything, we do have some inactives and some things that you need to be aware of. Jalen Hurts is out. It is Gardner Minshew's show today against the Jets. So, real quick, before we get some questions, how does that make you guys feel about the Eagles' weapons? Because I particularly think that this is actually a boost for Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, so you'll hear me say this time and time again. A backup quarterback's best friend in the entire world is a adequate tight end, and Dallas Goedert is just that. But I also think this is a boost for the Eagles offense just for a moment because Minshew's just going to go out there and let it rip. He literally has nothing to lose, no expectations. He's going to sling that ball all over the place, and it's going to either go really, really well or really, really bad. I'm erring on the side that I think he'll make some things happen today.
All right, so even a blind squirrel can find a nut here and there. So I personally think, I've been saying this for weeks, it hasn't come to fruition, unfortunately, but Miles Sanders' breakout game. They're gonna have no rushing yards from Minshew. Someone's gonna have to run that ball. Scott is a little dinged up, and once again, I'm going tripling down on Miles Sanders this week.
Okay, I like it. Other things, Kyler Murray and Hopkins are officially active, and we're going to get to the first question because it's up here. Sin, I guess starting D-Hop over Gibson is a no-brainer. Not this week. And from what we've been hearing, Hopkins is going to be limited somewhat. And now Antonio Gibson has J.D. McKissic out of the way. So now if there was ever a week, if there was ever a time to smash Antonio Gibson, this is it right here.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think this is still Gibson over D-Hop, like err on the side of caution. I would say at this point, what is Arizona really playing for? Do they have to push the envelope with any player? I think you're going to see him on, a snap count, et cetera. With no McKissic in the way, I think this is Antonio all the way.
Yeah, I'm tripling down on Gibson as well. I just feel like who are they playing? The Raiders, right? The Raiders the last 4 weeks have been the worst defense, like statistically ranked 32. So I still think you do Gibson, and I still think because there's so many different weapons out there in Arizona that they might try to ease Hopkins back into the game.
Yeah, I just think the safer bet right now with nobody in the way is going to be Gibson because, sure, Hopkins can have 4 for 60 and a touch. That feels good, but Gibson was really good last week and didn't even score a touchdown. You have to assume that that's going to change this week now that McKissick's not there, so... real quick. Oh, Steph, what's up? Steph of the 49K pod in the chat today. PPR, Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, Burkhead. We're rolling Miles Sanders. Boston Scott was just announced active, but that was like at the last moment. This feels like, for the reasons that Lou said, with no rushing yards from the quarterback unless it's desperation, that this is going to be Miles Sanders' week.
It has to be, right? Like it has to be. We've been saying this. I've been saying this for weeks. I have to be right once.
I'll use your words. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut. Before we fire into some of the questions, though, Jason, and I hate to jump in here on you, I was hoping I could take a quick victory lap with my lone wolf moments from last week to build some credibility amongst your crowd. So when I say some things,
go for it.
But last week, I pounded that table for A.J. Dillon, saying even if Aaron Jones is active, you play him. And I feel really good about that outcome. So hopefully I can deliver a little something for you guys today. And I have to chuckle to myself because even why am I even drawing a blank right now? give me the receiver. Oh, T.Y. Hilton. I don't know why I was drawing a blank, right? Like I think it was like
he
T.Y.
scored.
versus Marvin Jones, and he somehow found the end zone and made
He
me
did.
look good. So T.Y., you get a shout out from me today.
Yeah, he scored on the sprint right option play, actually. That was what they ran. And also, if you guys have T.Y. Hilton questions, this is the week to play him because they're playing the Houston Texans, as Lou alluded to. That's the team.
My God! I'm benching anyone over. T.Y. Hilton gets us.
DFS right now. T.Y. Hilton's dirt cheap, and I think that's somebody that you need to throw into your lineup real quick too.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's a good one. Also, guys, if you have questions about a certain player, I'm going to say this certain player's name, and don't ask me who the other person is. It is Javonte Williams week, and don't ask me about anybody else. Javonte Williams or Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams week. This is it. It's time. It is time finally. So let's go. Route Runner 49ers starter, sit Matt Breida. It depends on who you have, as your options. I don't want to, just because it's against the Patriots. And as good as Breida looked on Thanksgiving, Devin Singletary out-touched him by a sizable portion as well, too. So I think the real loser of those three was Zach Moss. But Singletary actually had like 15, 16 touches. So, again, matchup, I don't know. I mean, it depends on your options. If you tell us your options, maybe we'll be able to help you out with that one a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Will McLaurin make an impact today? You know it. Definitely will. Elijah Mitchell and Gibson. Yep, start them both. Those are both auto starts. Easy.
Yeah.
These are layups.
Yeah, let's see. Thoughts on Ayuk without Samuel making space for him? I'm fine with it. And Brandon Ayuk's an auto start this week. I mean, if you can't start him this week, then I don't know when you can't. So I'm good with it. So, yeah. All right. Maybe here we got one. Okay. Deontay Johnson, Pittman, and Ayuk. That sounds good to me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, for everything you just said, I mean, Deontay's a must start every week. Pittman's turning into a must start every week. And if you can't get production from Brandon Ayuk this week, I don't know when you're going to get what you need.
But the dreaded T.Y. Hilton game.
Lou, you go first on this one, bud.
I called this out like 3 weeks ago. You're starting T.Y. over Pittman for no logical reasons other than history is a strong, precedent
indicator
right now. Exactly. So T.Y. Hilton over Pittman just because he owns Texas.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was last year when he was injured. He came in wearing the clown mask, and he went off for like 120 and 2 tutties. Man, like it's just what he does, right? Like there is historical precedent when it comes to that as well too. Tavarius, Howard or Pitts? Is that OJ Howard? Yeah. If it is, then it's Pitts. I think at this point. Yeah.
That could be any name in Pitts, and it's probably got to be Pitts.
Ooh, this is interesting right here. Steph wants to know PPR Devontae Parker or Foster Moreau. Foster Moreau has 6 for like 60 yards and a touchdown, and the Raiders sing his praises. And the only reason that he doesn't get more playing time is because Waller's a stud. Now Waller's out, he's stepping into a full-time role. Devontae Parker still does have to compete with Waddle. I'll start with you guys on this one. This is an interesting one.
I'm happy to jump in here, and Lou's already going to know my response to this. But to me, this is Foster Moreau, and this is just I still don't trust in the quarterback play a ton in Miami. Parker, right? I think he's just coming back. This is first week back in a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, first week back. Those always prove to be rough. Devontae has his most success deep down the field, and I don't think the quarterback can get there. And I think with Waller out, Foster Moreau is going to see a ton of targets.
Say the quarterback's name.
I will not.
No. Okay, so it is Foster Moreau. Even when their offense just is geared towards getting, putting up big stats for the tight end. And I think when I'm drawing a blank, but when the tight end for the Raiders, when he hasn't played, he scored a touchdown. Yeah, Waller. Moreau has played very well when Waller hasn't played. So I'm definitely saying Foster Moreau over Parker. I think that's a no-brainer.
Right. And I'll be third in this one with that as well, too. In my big home league, I have Kelsey and Kittle. I've been playing them tight end and flex anytime that I've had them, except for this week where I'll be starting Kelsey and Javonte Williams in my flex instead of Kittle. Sorry, buddy. Love you, buddy, but I cannot turn down that volume. I don't know what you're going to do this week. I know for a fact Javonte Williams is going to get 15 to 20 touches, and I cannot ignore that. For everybody that's in here right now, please hit that like button on this video. Please make sure you're subscribed. Hit that notification bell. That like helps us out because it sends the video up into the algorithm, gets new eyes onto the video, and gets more eyes on the content. So let's keep going because we got some questions in here. Andy Dalton against Arizona or Gardner Minshew against the Jets? I think I'm going to say Minshew here.
I'd say Minshew too for everything I was saying before. I just think backup quarterback scenario is going to come in, let it rip, nothing to lose. You've seen what he's done when he's playing, like he's played unpredictable ball before. It's Gardner Minshew for me.
I'm going to lone wolf it. I don't think Dalton looked that bad about a week or so ago. I know there's no Allen Robinson, but they still have Mooney there. He made Cole Kmet look serviceable. I'm going to say Andy Dalton trying to get back into that game if Arizona gets out to an early lead.
Okay. All right. Big P Sully, PPR, Boston Scott or Devin Singletary. Boston Scott in that same game against the Jets. Devin Singletary against the New England Patriots. Oof. I think Singletary is a fine player. That Patriots thing, it just makes me nervous, right? Like I feel like he's gonna, Bill's gonna chop off the run game and say, all right, now beat us, this way, or I mean, it's not even like the Bills really run the ball like that anyway. But I don't know. This one's tough. I'll let you guys start.
As a Miles Sanders owner, unfortunately, Boston Scott gets the red zone touches, and I really think that Boston Scott can salvage his game by with a touchdown. I'm going to say Boston Scott over Singletary.
Yeah, I think this is a flip of the coin, to be honest with you. I'm going to say Boston Scott. That's what I'm going to come out and say. But I also think if Buffalo wants to win this game, they have to at least pretend to run the football. And what you said before, Jason, about like Singletary just out touching Breida tremendously in the last week, I think that pattern will continue. And I think they have to, like I said, pretend to run the ball. So it's a coin toss. What is it going to do with the production? How they're going to scheme it up? But I would say Boston Scott.
Yeah, I think I'll go Boston Scott too for PPR and everything as well. It's tough though. I mean, you really don't have a wrong decision here. You just really need one touchdown from either of the guys. This one's tough, but I'll lean Scott as well too. Steph, thank you. She says, thanks, fellas. This is becoming an every week watch for me. Appreciate you. That means a lot. And shout out to her. And if you guys are not subscribed, make sure that you guys follow the 49K pod on YouTube, anywhere that you get your audio podcast. They're amazing. Steph and Angie, absolutely big fans of their podcast. So here's a question we never thought we'd see in week 13. Courtland Sutton or Jawan Jennings of the 49ers? Goodness gracious, man. This is not something that I thought I would ever hear, especially considering how well Courtland Sutton played in the beginning of the season. But then as soon as Jerry Jeudy came back, those targets were zapped. Whew. What do you guys think? I'll start with you guys.
All right. You go ahead, Austin.
No, you can go ahead.
Okay. It sucks because Courtland Sutton, I feel like you just never know when he's going to go off. He'll go up like 27 points one week, and then like 3 weeks in a row, he has like 5.5 points. That being said, they're playing the Chiefs. They're going to have to throw the ball, and I would feel like because of game flow, I'm probably going Courtland Sutton. I understand. I know who Jawan Jennings is. We talked about on our show earlier this week, Weston and I. I know there's possible volume there, but I think they're going to be, once again, the Niners. I mean, I'm not as advocate, big fans as you guys, but I think they're going to pound the ball, Kittle, Ayuk, and I just don't know how many opportunities Jennings will really get in that offense. So I'm saying Sutton.
Yeah. I do feel like a proud papa right now that Jawan Jennings is even being asked about in fantasy football because I'm a Tennessee Vols fan. Love this guy coming out of Tennessee. He fits our scheme perfectly. He's physical. He blocks downfield. He does everything, and I'm so happy to see him get his opportunities. That being said, I don't know how many of those opportunities they're going to be. Like last week, like potentially 2 touchdowns, right, on like 3 targets, right? So I don't know if you can depend on that level of consistency in this week. Courtland Sutton has been disappointing since Judy's gotten back. I think that's part of the QB play, and they're them playing smash mouth football. But at the end of the day, if I'm flipping a coin, it's going to land on Courtland Sutton this week. Yeah,
I'm going to go Sutton too. But then he has an also follow-up question. You got a lot of Broncos, man. Noah Fant or Moreau? I think I'm going Moreau here.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think once again, this is a no-brainer. Fant has not been an integral part of the Denver Broncos offense. He's had a couple of good games, but it wasn't like how he was last year. And like I said, the Raiders do implement a lot of tight end sets where I think Moreau will eat. I definitely think it's Moreau on here.
Yeah, put me down for Moreau as well. I got nothing sexy to add to it. I just think it's going to be sheer volume. how that Raiders offense is designed, and he's just playing that disappearing act right now, and I have no trust in him.
He's droppable. Like, look at his last couple of games. He's droppable that you can stream him. It's just I love the talent, but I just don't like the opportunity.
Yeah, Iowa tight end, man. So
Yeah.
Niner Empire Blood Rain. Hate to do this since Minshew starting. Should I play Goddard or Everett versus our 49ers? Feel Russ might throw to his tight end more versus our backup middle linebackers. That's not a bad
Ooh.
sentiment, but I'm gonna go Goddard here. I think that this is a really big Goddard week. You know, he's been fine with Hurts, but I think this is the week that Minshew actually hits him a bunch. And I think that this is the week that, like, you drafted him to be your guy, especially after they traded Ertz. And I think this is the week that it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think Goddard's a must here. I mean, I play him every week. That's based on my options, right? He does have, some high production value. That being said, I'm a little leery just because I do think there is a high probability that Everett probably finds the end zone this week. So that, like, I err on the side of caution, but it's Goddard for me as well.
Yo, Weston, you could be a politician, man. You just say who you're gonna say, bro.
Hey,
all right,
I come out and say the name though, but I give you a little bit of.
But you had your bets. All right, I'm saying Everett.
Okay.
Believe it or not, I'm saying Everett. I just feel like there's no running game. Metcalf hasn't been getting targets. It's only been Lockett. And I feel like I know they're going to try to get Metcalf some more targets this week, but I still think the guy is right here against your backup linebackers. I think Everett will actually eat this week.
Okay. All right. Karthik, Nick Folk is questionable. He's been questionable every single week, but he is the most consistent kicker right now in fantasy football. Every week, 16, 20, every week. There's no way. I dropped him real quick because I had to make a move to start Taysom Hill in my Superflex league, and I was sweating trying to get him back on the waiver wire. Like so once I was able to put Justin Fields and Allen Robinson back on IR, open up those spots, I was sweating, hoping that nobody picked up Nick Folk. He has been unbelievable because say what you want about Mac Jones. The one thing that he does is put his team on the other side of the field and get field goals at least, man. And that is why Nick Folk's been so good.
Oh, a little kicker talk here. All right.
Yeah. I like kickers when it helps my fantasy team.
Yeah. But this is why I love your audience, Jason, because they know exactly what
they know how to push my buttons. Yeah. They know how to push my buttons.
Guys, keep the kicker talks coming.
Matt Flores, half-point PPR, Darrell Williams, or our guy, Kendrick Bourne. Now, here's the thing. CEH had a stomach flu. Apparently, he's ready to go tonight. So, in what world does maybe Darrell Williams get a little bit more? That's not a bad sentiment. Although Kendrick Bourne has been Mac Jones' guy, he's been great. Obviously, no Tre'Davious White in this game as well, too. So, when people are saying, oh, I don't know about the Bills' defense, well, Tre'Davious White was a big portion of that, and now that's not going to be there. So I don't like dislike the Darrell Williams thing, but I think I'm just going to go with Kendrick Bourne. He's just been putting up too much right now. And I understand half point. I think if it's half point, then what you're really looking for is a bunch of catches from Williams, and hopefully he falls in the end zone because CEH came back and he kind of just went right back to having more touches. I know snap share is a little bit deceiving because it's closer, like 55-45, but touches wasn't close. And I think that's really what you should be looking at. I'm going to say Kendrick Bourne.
I'm going to say KB too. I just think that you just said it, right? Since CEH has been back in terms of physically touching the ball, he's definitely out touching Williams and anybody else. Although I do feel like there's a point in time where like the Kansas City Chiefs backfield has turned into like the New England Patriots backfield where you just don't know what's going to happen when you think something. But I'm KB all day on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same exact thing. You can just see the maturation process of Mac Jones. In the beginning of the year, they relied heavily on the rushing attack and the tight ends. Now the tight ends aren't getting as much attention because he's actually spraying the ball out to his receivers, and Bourne has been a benefactor of that. So I would definitely say Kendrick Bourne here.
Cool. 822, Hilton, Judy, Singletary, half PPR, Lou.
Hilton, next. It's going to be Hilton. It's going to be Hilton.
Go ahead.
I kind of feel the same way. I think history is going to repeat itself. I think I have to say T.Y. Hilton, although the better of me wants to say Jerry Jeudy in this instance. But I'm going to double down on Lou, and I'm going to say T.Y. as well.
All right, I'm going to lone wolf this one and say Jeudy. Good luck figuring out which of us is going to be. I mean, I just feel like they're going to be throwing the ball, and Jeudy and Bridgewater, they're always going to have that connection no matter what. Like, he comes right back in, and they get right back to what they were doing. So I'm going to say Jeudy. But watch it beat Hilton for 220 and like 2 touchdowns like he usually does.
There has to be something in his contract that if he scores touchdowns against the Texans, he gets like a bonus or something.
Goodness gracious. Gennaro, Freiermuth, Bateman, Hines, or Parker PPR. Freiermuth, I'm actually really big on him this week. And just he's been great with Ben, especially when you consider obviously Juju goes away, but they're really building something there. I like Rashad Bateman a lot as well too. Hines is just your floor play PPR guy who's going to give you a few catches, and then Parker's right off of the IR. So I'll start with you guys.
This is a toss between between Freiermuth and, at least on this weekly hour segment, this is Batsman. Can we stop calling him Bateman? This is totally Rashad Batsman. I'm between those two, and I'm gonna actually say that I think this is a week that Lamar has to get back on track a little bit, and that offense has to look better than it did last week. And I think Bateman's gonna be part of that. So I'm gonna say Rashad Bateman in this instance.
All right, well, I'm going to think outside the box here. Parker is the one I'm automatically eliminating, but I could picture Hines, and hear me out. They're playing the Texans, and I feel like if he can get a lot of garbage. I'm going to say garbage, touches, from the Colts. I just feel like the Texans cannot keep up with the Colts, and I just feel like, and that being said, yeah, Taylor's going to get his, but there's going to be a point in time where they're going to probably take Taylor out because it's not necessary. Why, put him through injury risk, and then Hines will feast. I'm going to say Hines. I'm going to be a little creative here.
Okay, I'm gonna really split the room. I'm gonna say Rashad Bateman, but I'm gonna give you the good and the bad, Gennaro. The good is Lamar can't be as bad as he was last week. It's impossible, right? That's impossible. The only thing that concerns me, 45% snap share last week, and that was by far his lowest since he got back. Now, was that something that happened? Was game plan specific? I don't know, but I do know that Lamar is going to be, it can't be any worse. And I think that Bateman is somebody who's very, very reliable for him, even if Hollywood Brown, even if Andrews are those guys. I just feel like Lamar is going to have to get it going. And that running game isn't nearly as potent as it once was. So they're throwing the ball a little bit more. I think I'm going to go Bateman here. So good luck trying to figure out which one of us to listen to on this one. This one is an incredible question, man. Harry Wolf. Start 3. Ooh. Goodness gracious. Stefon Diggs, you're starting. There's no way you're not starting him. Jamar Chase, Waddle, Javonte. Jamar Chase, how can you not start Jamar Chase at this point, even if right now he hasn't been doing what he was doing earlier? Waddle is now becoming that guy that they drafted. And this is Javonte week. Wow. This is literally Javonte week. My goodness gracious, man. What do you guys think?
These are problems I want in my life, to be able to choose between these 4. I think you hit the nail. Like, you have to start Stefon Diggs. You have to start, I feel like, Jamar Chase, right? Like, I mean, the week you don't start him, he's going to go for 2 tutties. Like, it's just inevitable. I think, and it's hard to get Jalen Waddle out of your lineup because he's been balling the last few weeks. But if it gun to my head, the 3 for me, based on this week, would be Diggs, Chase, Javonte Williams.
For me, I think it's a lot closer between Diggs and Waddle, who I'm not starting, believe it or not. All that being said, I am starting Diggs, Jamar, and Javonte, and the reason being is because Diggs, I can't bench like my superstar player, even though it's a tough matchup, and Belichick is infamous for taking out team's superstar players. So you have to start Diggs. If he goes off, you're going to kick yourself in the ass. Second, the Chargers are shorthanded in the secondary once again. I think that's going to be a high-flying game, high-scoring game, and I think Jamar eats there. Now we're really talking between Waddle and Javonte, and Javonte is the sole, running back pretty much that has any value in that Broncos offense, and it's the Chiefs' defense, albeit they have been a little better the last 4 weeks. I still think it's Javonte. So you have to sit Waddle. You got to think about Glennon is quarterback in the Giants too. So how much – if they're out to an early lead, Waddle might not get his. So,
well, I mean, Javonte is really just competing. I mean, this Mike Boone slander will not stand, Lou. I know that the only person that's in the backfield. But no, seriously, I don't know how you sit Stefon Diggs. I thought he was going to be the number 1 receiver this year, and obviously that's not going to happen right now unless he just goes crazy these last few weeks. But I think it's Diggs. I think I'm going to think a little outside of the box here. Diggs, Waddle, and Javonte. What's happening with Waddle right now, you got to ride the trend a little bit right now, and I get it. The Giants defense has some guys in the secondary. Bradbury is very good, one of the seldom talked about corners in the league and everything. But it's just that connection between him and Tua it's growing, right? It's growing right in front of your eyes, and they're just eviscerating people right now. And I understand what Chase did, but I don't want to keep chasing what he did. I'm trying to like look at the now, right? Like look at the recent trends, right? Mm-hmm. And I know you don't want to miss out on that big blow up game because you'll kick yourself in the ass. But I think with Waddle and Chase, you probably will find yourself in a similar place, if not, like it's not going to be like, Waddle goes crazy and Chase doesn't do anything. Like you guys are probably going to have similar production. So I think it's pretty close there. And if there was ever a week to play Javonte, it's this week. I mean, seriously, he's in line for 20 touches and it's not like he just gets the ball, running the ball. They throw it to him. And if it's PPR, then that's the way I'm thinking of it right now. All right. Karthik, Javonte Williams, Antonio Gibson, Barkley, or Josh Jacobs. He's questionable and expected to start. Yeah, you're starting everybody but Jacobs here. That's it. Oh, well, the Barkley thing scares the hell out of me. The Barkley thing scares the hell out of me, actually. Yeah, so, let's talk through that one. But Javonte and Gibson are auto starts.
Yeah, when was the last time Barkley has really been good?
That's true. That's a good point.
Everyone keeps when you talk about Barkley and you see them talking about him on like ESPN. You just like they show you stats from his rookie year. I think that was the last time he was good, or that Penn State leap or whatever. It's just a name right now. He has not been good whatsoever.
Yeah. For me, I don't know what the scenario here is in terms of like how many we have to pick or how many's going to start, but Javonte and Antonio jump out of the list of me. And to me, if I had to in this scenario, and again, not certain if I'm choosing between Barkley or Jacobs, it's actually Josh Jacobs for me easily because he's at least finding the end zone. And Saquon's playing Miami's defense. And Miami's defense does not, I know their record says something differently, but this unit is studly. And they have smacked around some powerhouse offenses. And they will take with Mike Glennon as the starting quarterback, they will take away the running game so fast. That I think Barkley is legitimately irrelevant this week. I think he does nothing.
Right. To piggyback off that, if you guys are looking to stream a defense and Miami's out there on the wire, go pick them up right now. They have been incredible, man. Like I think that's my favorite streaming defense of the week. Javonte and Gibson are auto starts. Barkley and Jacobs. I mean, Jacobs is fine. Like I'm not the biggest fan of him in fantasy. I know he's a great football player. I know that for a fact, but I'm just the Barkley thing, man. I think it's like you invested a high pick and it's like, man, but you have to go with what's going. So I guess you will go with Jacobs. It's just when you see Barkley's name there, it's all like, oh, well, you're automatically starting Barkley, right? Like that's kind of the way my brain just saw it. So yeah, I mean, but it sucks that you even have to have this discussion, right? That like you drafted Barkley in the first round or like high seconds. So let's see. Okay. I want to make sure I get this name right. Prasanth. I hope I said that right. I'm sorry. I want to make sure that I got it right. But PPR, Djax or Claypool. I think I'm going Claypool here. Djax was a little dinged up, I think, this week too as well.
Claypool. It's like I know Claypool's been hit or miss, but Deshaun Jackson, right? Jesus Christ, there's so many different names here. Is boomer bust, right? So it's the same thing, and I just think Claypool gets more targets, could be a little bit more consistent, and could find the end zone for you. So Claypool.
Rumor has it Mike Tomlin implemented some music in the locker room this week, so Claypool I'm expecting him to have a big game. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go see what's going on between Claypool and Mike Tomlin. Apparently there's a little beef there because
he talked about playing music.
Yeah, and so apparently he threw on little jams on this week. So let's say Claypool.
All right, cool. I love this question. And before we get to it, just everybody that's in here, please make sure that you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell for when we go on live. The like helps because it gets more eyes on the content, brings more people in. And if you guys want to help, that's the best way that you can do it. So we have a dynasty question, and I love this question. Ooh. Full PPR, deep dynasty. This is deep. Adrian Peterson, Gio Bernard, Austin Walter. This is perfect for me because these are the sorts of like deep dynasty leagues. Like I'm in a 14-team deep dynasty league where you have to play. Like I have to start Jimmy Graham at tight end because of injuries, everything. Like that's where you're at, and there's nothing you can do unless you want to make a trade. There's no waiver wire. Like there's nowhere for you to go. So you have to really just stick with your guns. And I love this question. So Adrian Peterson in his first game. Gio Bernard or Austin Walter, who found the end zone, 49er legend, 49er practice squad legend, Austin Walter, by the way. But I'll start with you guys.
So, Jason, I'll actually come back to you and educate me real quick. And we don't have to take this all the way down the path, but I do not do any dynasty leagues, right? So, are we looking at this just like, is this like a waiver wire scour, like 1 week, or is this somebody that, right?
Probably just because of the buys and injuries and things like that. Like, these are the places that you go to in certain, like, it's not something that you want to do, but these are just all you have, really. Like, like in certain weeks, like there's weeks where I have to like start, like, look, I'll pull up one of mine and you guys could talk through it real quick, but I'll show you, like, in a dynasty league that I'm in, it's like, man, it is really horrible. Like, what I have to go through to start somebody. I'll show you. It's a league that I'm 1-11 in. That's how bad it is. Like, I've lost everybody basically to injuries. I'm starting Trent Sherfield, like, out of necessity, not because I want to. Okay. I need to just fill the roster out. Like, that's the problem. Like, Gordon's out. I could start Salvan Ahmed, but I lost Woods, Robinson, Sterling Shepard, Mostert. Like, my whole team is decimated. And then you have to think about the guys on buys. Like, I lost Deshaun Watson for the year. Sam Darnold's on IR. And, who else? Devontae Adams is on buy. So now I'm trying to just fill out a roster, and that's where he's at, I think, at this point.
All right. So then for me, if this is just filling out the roster, right, you don't have to hold on to these people for an extended period of time. You're not foregoing draft picks next year in a draft to resupplement your team. I'd actually just go AP. Because I know they immediately activated him. That backfield is banged up in Seattle, and he's going to get a lot of touches right out of the gate. So it's boom or bust, and I'd go AP in this particular instance.
Damn, these are bad choices, but
yeah, but it is
what it is, AP averaged 3 yards a carry and barely got to that threshold when he's with the Titans. And Walter showed a little something last week, but they're playing the Eagles, have a good front seven. Between those two, Gio is not on my radar here. I'll probably say, just because they'll want, like, a good feel-good story, AP finds the end zone. He'll have like 9 carries, for 27 yards and a touchdown. Where Walter, I don't think he'll be able to find the end zone.
Yep, as a proud 49ers fan, it hurts me to say Adrian Peterson. But yeah, this seems like that sort of Marshawn Lynch thing from 2019 where he didn't really do too much aside from that one touchdown. That's all you really need from Adrian Peterson at this point. So, yeah. Okay, Tone, Russell Gage, and we got to move a little bit faster because we're at 12:30 already, getting close to the kickoff, so we're going to rapid fire a little bit here. Russell Gage or Logan Thomas in the flex? I'm going to go Logan Thomas.
Me too. Welcome back, Logan. You got your targets, almost got in the end zone. Those are just going to continue to go up. I mean, this guy's a dominant tight end in the league, right? He's just been absent all year due to injury, and my team's felt it. Logan Thomas.
I concur.
Cool. Kicker talk. Prasanth. Jason, Gold or Carlson? Robbie Gold.
Oh, didn't Carlson put up like 20-something last week?
He did, baby. I had him. Yo, it's Carlson, man. It's Carlson.
It's Carlson. It's Carlson for me, too.
Okay. I'm tired of this 49er disrespect from Weston, man. All right. King Snyder, 3310. Big Ben or Matt Ryan? Yeah, only options available since Hurts is inactive. Oh, man. I think I'm going to go Big Ben. I don't know. The Matt Ryan thing, I'm done with it at this point. I got so desperate this week in my Superflex that I was like, I've spent the rest of my $14 in FAB to pick up Taysom Hill just so I didn't have to start him against Tampa Bay. So I'm going to say Big Ben in this game.
I'm going to say Ben too. I think they need a game, right? Like, they're still in contention. They need a win, a division rival. Ben's known to show up in some big games unexpectedly when you count him out. So I'm riding Ben as well. Bianca Roethlisberger. Have you seen that thing going around? I'm riding with Bianca.
I don't know.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah. I don't know Matt Ryan's female name, but I'm actually going to say Matt Ryan. He put up almost 21 points last time he played Tampa Bay. And he always plays them tough. So I'm going to say Matt Ryan.
Okay. Dave Ski, TVZ. I hope I said that right. Lamar versus the Steelers or Cousins versus the Lions. I think you go Lamar here, although the only reason I wouldn't say Cousins right now is just because I think that Madison's going to obliterate them and he'll have to throw very little. Lamar does it all with his legs and his arm.
Yeah, Lamar. I mean, he's on your team. He's got to be in, and he does everything for you. Like, last week's was a fluke from that offense.
I like that it was a bad week last week. I think he balls out this week.
Right. Trey S. Is this Trey Sermon because he's not playing this week? Are you playing Morning gents, Burrow or Wilson? I think you go Burrow. I don't think there's any way you can trust Russell Wilson at this point.
Burrow
hasn't been that good. It's been the Mixon show the last 4 weeks. All that being said, I'm still saying Burrow. You can't trust Wilson right now.
Okay. All right. So we're waiting for a few more questions to come in. Thank you guys again. If you're in here, make sure that you like this video. Make sure you're sub to the channel. Make sure that you follow both of these guys on Twitter. We'll do that as well too. Let them know where to find your content, guys.
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at WTF Pod NFL. And Weston, tell them where they can find the YouTube channel, man.
YouTube channel is nice and simple. We're Talking Football. Like everything Jason says, give it a subscribe, give it a like when we throw the content out there. We're newer to the game. Jason's been kind enough to lend us his platform and his time, and we just appreciate y'all listening and chiming in.
Awesome, guys. All right, Carlos is God, man. Morning, fellas. Should I start J-Rob, Ayuk, or Pittman at flex non-PPR? So James Robinson said he's gonna be a go, but he's gonna try to play, and that's at 4:00. So
Ayuk the Rams too.
Right. But at least you know what, with that's volume that I'm comfortable with, right? Like they're gonna feed him, and I'm cool with that. But Ayuk or Pittman and him in non-PPR, who's gonna be the one who likely hits the end zone? I'm gonna say Ayuk and be a homer this week.
I'm going to say Ayuk as well. And I think he finds the end zone in an unexpected way. I think people forget how special he is after the catch and with the ball in his hands. And I'm not saying they're going to line him up in the backfield like they did Debo, but don't be surprised if you see some jet sweeps and something on the outside. And I think number 11 from the 49ers finds the end zone. And I'd say Brandon Ayuk as well.
I don't think you guys are being homer. That's the right choice right there, Ayuk.
Nice. Let's keep being homers. Deshaun Jackson or Ayuk? It's Ayuk.
It's Ayuk.
All right. Wow. EXO. PPR, Elijah Mitchell or Madison. Why can't you play both? Tell me why you can't play both of them at this point. Goodness gracious.
So I so badly want to say Mitchell, right? But I just feel like this is always a tough game for the 49ers, and we're going to have to win an unexpected and maybe not the so conventional method. With the Vikings playing Detroit, Madison, the only game in town. Like Madison is a starting running back on most teams in the NFL. He just happens to play behind Dalvin Cook, who's a stud. To me, this is Madison, actually.
I'll make it quicker. I love both plays, but Madison provides more out of the backfield when it comes to catching the ball, and especially for PPR. I'll say that I'll lean more towards Madison.
Yeah, the only reason that it's Madison is because Madison's a top 5 option this week. You know, and there's going to be other weeks where, I mean, it's only going to be for one more week, but Mitchell's a top 10 option. So in terms of that, like if you just go based off that, I think it's Madison as well too. But man, I would love to play all of them, man. I would love to play both of them. Like in my home league, I had been holding Madison this entire time because I believe it was one of you gentlemen that gave the advice of, if you got guys on your bench, Lou, if you got guys on your bench that you're not playing, drop them for someone's handcuff, because if they go down, then boom, you've got yourself a bona fide starter. So in this league, I was like scrambling for running back 2, kind of just putting it together week by week. I'm going to be starting Eckler, Madison, and Javonte this week, and that is massive right there. Like I'm going to be crushing people this week. So that's why you do those things.
Yep.
All right.
100%.
All right. Pick 2 standard. Man.
Has to be Mixon. I didn't even read the rest.
Mixon, Madison, Mitchell, David Montgomery, Sony Michel, who is probably going to play over Darrell Henderson, and Miles Sanders. I think that the 2 that you can wipe away are Monty and Sanders, and then you really just get it down to those 4. But if it's going to be anybody, you got to put Mixon in, because all he's doing is scoring touchdowns right now. He's been incredible. And I think I go Madison, man. I just think he has a better chance at running into the end zone.
Yeah, the first 3 are the only names that I would even consider in this scenario. I mean, this is a crazy scenario to consider. But if you have those first 3, Mixon, Madison, and Mitchell, but to me, just like we were literally just talking about, it's Mixon and Madison for me as well.
Mixon has scored multiple touchdowns like 3 weeks in a row. We just, on the last question before, we said Madison over Mitchell. So it's Mixon and Madison.
Nice. Mixon and Madison. Like Mixon and Madison. Got it.
That was hard to say.
Huh? But that's a good team name too. I mean, if you had both of them, I would change my name to that. All right. Controversial. Dolphins defense or Rams defense?
Ooh.
Rams against the Jags. Dolphins facing the next guy up. Get that? Next guy up, Mike Glennon. So I don't know, man. This one's kind of tough. I'll start with you guys.
You know what? Give me the Rams. I just feel like there's a lot of newspaper clippings lately. It's a homecoming game for Ramsey too. So I just feel like that driver.
Revenge game.
Yeah. You see what I see? So that's why I'm saying the Rams, man. Glennon can surprise us. I think he played last year and he had a decent game last year. So I'll say Rams D.
Okay.
I'm saying Dolphins. I don't think you're wrong either way here. I think they're both favorable matchups, but Glennon in, Giants offense with or without Glennon's been stagnant anyway. And this Dolphins defense, I mean, look what they've done to some of the better offense. I mean, they smacked Lamar Jackson in the mouth, and I think they will continue to do that for the remainder of the season. So I'm saying the Fish.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go to Dolphins D just because I think this offense for the Giants is going to be a mess, especially when you consider they just switched over to Freddie Kitchens and they've been one of the hotter DSTs out there right now. And I understand the whole Jaguars thing, that revenge game part, Lou, man. You almost got you know how to push my buttons, man. If you mentioned that, that's like appreciate you, Daniel. Oh, appreciate you guys. 3 weeks, you've given me the right answer. Yes, all right. That's what I'm talking about.
So let's not answer this question.
Yeah, God, I'm so scared. Let's just keep the streak in line. It's like when my brother used to beat me in Madden, and he would just be like, I'm not playing you anymore. That's it. We're done. And I'm like, oh, I can't get revenge. All right. Logan Thomas or Pat Freiermuth. Ooh, man, this is good. I think I go Freiermuth here.
I'm going to go Thomas, actually. I think you're just going to see some ascension from him. Ben's got some options, and I think Deontay sees a lot, but I just my gut tells me Logan Thomas here.
Jason, I'm contractually obligated to follow my colleague here, and I'm going to say Logan Thomas. Just the Raiders defense has been awful. I basically look for who's playing the Raiders defense, and it's the I was going to say the Skins. Sorry, it's Washington football team. So I'm going to say Logan Thomas.
All right, Daniel. Well, I mean, one of us is giving you the right answer here. So
we're not wrong.
Either way, the streak is going to continue one way or another. So, I mean, at least that's good right there. So, let's see. All right, we'll take a few more because, Daddy's got to get to his lineups too in a little bit. There's 19 minutes till kickoff. So, Ayuk or J-Rob, Gesicki or Everett. I'm going to go Ayuk, and I'm just going to stick completely homer this week. I just think that this is the perfect week for him. And J-Rob plans to play. That is what they're saying at 4 o'clock. So, either way, if J-Rob doesn't play, then you've got Ayuk that you can put right there in your flex position. But I think Ayuk has a better chance to break out this week.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is like end or pick one here, but I would say Ayuk over J-Rob, but you have flexibility because they both play at 4 o'clock, and Gesicki over Everett. And if that is what we're looking for, I'm going to say Everett over Gesicki.
Once again, I have to go with my partner there, Ayuk and Everett.
Okay, I like it. Big B Sully. Russell Wilson or Carson Wentz. I think we're going Carson Wentz. You can't trust Russell Wilson at this point. You can't. And that's not even because he's playing the 49ers.
Yeah. Wentz.
Yeah.
Okay. B Helms, Elijah Mitchell, Devontae Smith, Russell Gage. Devontae Smith with Gardner Minshew. Russell Gage against Tampa Bay. Elijah Moore with Corey Davis back. Corey Davis is playing today.
And so is Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
I'll say Smith just because hopefully, Minshew has some, screw it moments. Just throw it, deep down and, Mitchell just balls out. I got to say Smith.
I say Smith as well. I think quarterback, we've said this before, nothing to lose this week, is going to air that thing out. And why not air it out to a former Heisman winner, right? Like, I mean, it just makes perfect sense.
Lone Wolf time. It's Elijah Moore. He scored a touchdown last week in garbage time. Zach's going to find a way to. It's less about the targets and more about how much he's been on the field now. Remember, he was behind Jamison Crowder. He's just been on the field a little bit more. I like Elijah Moore. Keep riding that wave with him. I think at this point, that Devontae Smith thing, you guys make some great points, but it's unknown. And I'm just and I mean Zach Wilson's unknown clearly, but they're going to be behind in that game. They're going to have to throw the ball, so I think that he'll have enough to get there to get to what you need. Russell Gage is the only one I'm not thinking about playing. Thank you, buddy, man. Yes, please smash those likes. We'll be on here for a few more minutes so we can get to our lineups and everything and get you guys ready for your game as well too. Jason was the only one to say gold. Jason is obsessed with gold. Sure is. Favorite player in the league, man. I love it. All right. Nomadic K, Brandon Cooks or Darnell Mooney. It's going to rain in Chicago. I still say Mooney. Cooks was like ready to be active right here, like towards the like he got really close. He wasn't going to play something like that, or he had to figure it out. Mooney's the only game in town. I still think they're going to find a way to get it done. Andy Dalton knows how to throw the ball in bad weather. He played in Cincinnati, and I'm not worried about that at all.
Mooney, I just trust the quarterback play a little bit better, right, in Chicago.
I agree, and I think the rain's more a hindrance against the defense than it is the offense, so I'll say Darnell Mooney, unless it's downpouring.
Yeah. All right, let's move a little bit faster. JT, Boston Scott or Tevin Coleman? I'm going to go Boston Scott. I can't trust Tevin Coleman.
Scott. Unfortunately, I have to play Coleman. That's how my year's going. But Scott.
Yeah, maybe if this was like 2013, I would say Coleman, but it's Scott.
Right. Damn. How do you guys think the Bucks will use Ronald Jones against Atlanta? My running backs are taking a hit after I lost Henry and Gus Edwards this season. Same, bro. That was my running back too going into the season. I'm starting CEH and Ronald Jones and Dylan on a bye. You just got to hope that Ronald Jones gets that touchdown. He did last week. It had been the Leonard Fournette show, the 4 touchdowns against the Colts and everything as well. But there's just something weird about what's going on with Jones. It's like he can't get on the field or have any sort of sustained pressure production. But if you have to, then there's worse options than Ronald Jones in a desperation pinch.
Yeah, if the game goes as planned, Jones will get more touches than he has been lately because I'm sure they have the expectation of beating up Atlanta. But it is a division game. But I think he'll get more touches this week.
Yep, Jones. I agree. I also say this with Ronald Jones: keep him on your radar. If you have someone on your bench that is not worth the spot, pick up Ronald Jones. If Fournette goes down, I think Ronald Jones is the number one, there on a good offense.
Right, and real quick for anybody, some breaking news. While DeAndre Hopkins is active today, he did not come out for the team's official warm-up. Just something to keep an eye on. Again, that's why stay away from Hopkins. Just stay away from him this week. I don't like it. All right. Breeder or Sony Michel, PPR have to play one. You're going Sony. And I think just because Henderson's not playing. So it's already kind of, they're not optimistic that he's going to play. And even if he does play, then I still suspect to see Sony. I'm going Sony here.
Sony, yeah.
Yeah, I'll say Sony Michel. And follow Pro Football Doc. He's pretty good when it comes to the injuries. He said a couple of days ago that he doesn't think Henderson will play. And usually he's right on those. So I'm going to say Sony Michel.
Cool. After Mitchell, running back 1, Gibson or Javonte. Both of them have people out of their way. This one's hard, man. I'm just gonna go with Gibson, man. He just, and I love Javonte, right? But it's just, I just go with Gibson and what you know.
Yeah, Gibson.
I probably would start Gibson and Williams over Mitchell, but definitely Gibson.
That's
Kick
not
Lou
bad.
off.
Not bad. Kick him out. Kick him out. All right. For my flex, Jamal Williams or Pittman. I'm gonna actually go Jamal Williams here. Only game in town. DeAndre Swift injured. Gotta go Jamal Williams.
I'm going Jamal Williams too. I honestly, Detroit is going to do everything they can to win this game, and some of that's going to have to be ball control. And Jamal Williams is going to get a ton of touches today.
Keep on believing that, Weston. You are a huge advocate for Detroit. I do say Williams too. I like it. He can catch the ball. He's the only guy in the backfield. There's another guy there, but I can't pronounce his name. I forget his name, but Jamal Williams is the guy.
All right, cool. AJ Green or TY? You're going TY this week.
TY.
Ethan, Allen or Stafford? Josh Allen. I don't care about I don't care about the matchup. I think you still have to at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Mooney or Ayuk?
Ayuk.
I think you go. All right. I think I'm gonna go Mooney here.
I'm gonna say Ayuk.
Okay. I mean, I like it. All right, have Kelsey at tight end and Lamb and Godwin at wide receiver. Eckler at running back with Cookout this week. Need a flex. PPR. Gronk or Renfro? Hunter Renfro. Yeah.
Target maniac. Magnet.
Yeah. Absolutely.
PPR, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Jay Sandy. Smith or Odell flex full PPR. I'm assuming that's Devonta Smith. And if that is, then I'm going to go Devonta.
Yeah, same. I mean, Odell's got that hip flexor. So even if he plays that hurts a lot more than people think trying to get up and down that field. Devonta.
Yep, I'll say Smith as well.
Okay. Breeder or Sony is a good question too. Yeah, you gotta go Sony. He's the one who's gonna be playing. Damn, I didn't realize it was that open and shut. I mean, it's not really open and shut. It's just, again, Josh Allen's a top 5 quarterback. Stafford hasn't been playing well, whether that's the injuries, whether that's Sean McVay's play calling. We can nitpick that all day. And you know what? They're not going to have to throw the ball a ton. Stafford's going to hand that thing off, and they're going to pound the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think. Josh Allen's going to have to throw a lot in that game, and you know that he has those boom games, even if it is against the Patriots. He kind of gives it to them a little bit.
And he's the best running back on the team. Yeah, he's the best running back in Buffalo, so...
Absolutely. All right. I think this is a perfect place to end it right here. Guys, thank you again. If you haven't, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow both of these gentlemen. One more time, tell them where they can find all your content, and we'll get out of here.
Twitter and Instagram at WTF Pod NFL.
YouTube, We're Talking Football. Jason, as always, man, appreciate it. We've been having so much fun these last few weeks with you guys.
Hell yeah. This has been fun as hell, man. And you know what? If I could divert away a little bit from fantasy football, let's go Niners. Finish the job, sweep the leg, end the era. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. I am so jacked for this game. Tap in on the channel right after for instant reaction after the game. Hopefully, we're going to be celebrating with some drinks. I think the 49ers are going to win. Let's put an end to this era. No more 12s. Don't want to hear about it anymore. So on that note, Let's go Niners, and make sure you guys get your wins in fantasy football. Also, one more thing. Please talk to your commissioner about when your playoffs start. They should not be starting on the 14th week, and here's why. There are teams on bye in week 14. What are you supposed to do in the playoffs when you have some of your key contributors who won't be playing? Talk to your commissioner. Extend your league one more week. Fix that league or leave that league. All right? For Weston, for Lou, for Jay, we're out of here. Welcome, everybody. Let's go Niners. My name is Jason Aponte.